Hey, what's happening, DubRiderz? I hope everybody's having a great weekend. And I'm making this video to let you know that even with all the digital videos and all the stuff that we see online, there's still plenty of VW information in print. And a couple things I want to highlight right now is two books that are written by a gentleman named Soom, who lives in the UK. Well-known photographer, wrote for, I think, a Porsche magazine, hardcore VW guy, drag racer, done a lot of stuff, and he's written quite a few books. Two of the books he's written is, the most popular one is this one here, the California Look VW, and then the California Look, which is kind of like his second one to this one. And there's a lot of history in these books. So if you don't know much about VWs and you want to know some history about it, which is one thing that makes the VW scene very cool, is that there's the history goes back to like the late 60s, and car clubs, drag racing was and modifying these VWs and making them fast, and there's a lot of history to it. And a lot of the people that started all this stuff, they're still at the shows. They're still around. You can talk to them in person. They got the stories. I'm friends with quite a few of them, so I get to hear many of the beginning days of the performance and just the modifying of the Volkswagen. Now in this one here, I got a bunch of signatures, which is not an original idea. A lot of people have done it, but there's a lot of people in SoCal in here. But for me, what's, the best part is I got Soom. I got him to give me his, he gave me his autograph. He signed the book, actually. I've met him a few times. He comes over to the races, Hobby W Drag Day, Bug In, out here in Orange County, and has, does racing and everything like that. So I've actually got to hang out with him and talk to him, and he actually signed the book. And but in this book, there's a bunch of more signatures. I mean, some of the history goes back to the 60s, 70s, 80s, just a different style of, it's all about the VW scene. So if you're interested, you can Google these books, look them up, see if you can still purchase them. This one here sometimes can go for a lot of money because it's a sought after book. Like early DKP, look. In 1977, Hot VW magazine arranged a photo shoot of DKP2, second generation of DKP. So that just gives you an idea, if you want to check out some VW history. And also in this book here, it goes into a little more of the club scene, but it's got quite a few. So sometimes I mention DKP. There's a shot of them from some years ago. I'm signing it. I got people signing this one too. But this has this talks about the clubs, a lot of racing history. And thank God, people took pictures, and basically, all this is a documentation of what I'm into and what a lot of people are into. It's not, the Volkswagen is, man, it's so much more than just owning a Volkswagen and maybe spending some money on it. There's a whole lifestyle that goes around it. There's a history that goes around it. So if you want to know more about Volkswagens, or if you do know about Volkswagens and maybe you don't know about some of the history, it's definitely something to check out, And actually, some of these cars are actually still around. So check it out. So the story of the Californian Look VW, written by Keith Soon. And then for a current magazine, Hobby W's, this is the latest issue. Now this one here is a magazine that I'm shooting for. I got 2 stories in this magazine and a story in another magazine called Air Mighty, which is in Europe. And I'm still, like I said, I'm a rookie photographer, but I guess my photos have improved enough to where that Shin has given me the opportunity to start shooting for Hobby W magazine. Right now, I'm just covering events. But, if you don't know much, like I said, once again, if you don't know much about Volkswagens, before the internet, before all the social media stuff, when I got into VWs when I was like 16, this is the magazine they told me about. Hey, go get a Hobby W magazine, check it out. It'll give you an idea of what, what you might be into. And like I said, there's a whole bunch of styles of VWs. Now, this is a story that I did. Actually, this guy right here is a friend of mine named Chris Callahan. He just a couple weeks ago wrecked that car on the freeway, but now has since got another car. But this is an event here in San Diego. Kobe Show and Shine. Boom. Super stoked about that. But so there's plenty of magazines in print still, from all over the world. This is just a big one and one of the oldest ones here in our scene. And so check it out. See what you think, man. If you want to get into Volkswagens, there you go. You got some history to back up. You got some examples. And with that, I hope everybody has a great weekend. And if you got a VW, get out there and do some VW stuff. DubRiderz Worldwide, low shot photography. Laters.